Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of PicoCTF challenges. We are Cybersensei. We are here to bring you another exciting episode. We're here to cover web exploitation under PicoCTF 2026. The title for this challenge is Sql Map1. So the description is you've been hired by a shadowy group of pen testers who love a good puzzle. The system looks ordinary, but appearances lie. Somewhere inside, sloppy code and legacy hashing practices left a tiny, perfect doorway for an attacker. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, so it's, of course, they're just trying to entice you, is to slip through that doorway, act as a legit user, and retrieve the secret flag. Additional details will be available after launching your challenge instance. So I'll launch it. So as it launches, I'll check the hints. So search box looks the search box looks interesting. Okay, that's a good one. So hint number 2, passwords should not be stored in MD5 format. Okay, so they'll be hashing and MD5 format. Okay, so hint number 3, CrackStation is a great online tool for cracking hashes. Amazing. This is not the first time we're meeting CrackStation or cracking hashes in this PicoCTF web exploitation series. If you check the previous videos, you'll notice. And then number 4, sample SQL map command. SQL map, okay, amazing, nice. So we'll be dealing with SQL map. So you can notice even just by some few mentions here, we're dealing with SQL, and we've started this. We've already launched the instance, so we'll log into the page. We've been told log in here and find the flag. Let's see. Let it load up. Amazing. So this one works perfectly. Let it load up. So PicoCTF 2026 strong authentication. Okay, amazing. So one thing I normally do whenever I see such, it's actually even recommended here, register yourself before you try to log in, because you can't just log in if you don't have some stored credentials in it. So I'll register myself. Let's call it Sensei. Password, I'll use a simple password. I've used the password flower. Let's see that. So I've registered. So register, create an account. Okay, after says right. So I'm supposed to even register now here. Sensei flower. I'm mentioning this because I know I'll need to clarify something. That's why I'm mentioning the password. I'm saving it, and yes, I know it's very weak, so I'll just mention it because there's somewhere we'll need to prove to you why I use that password flower. So I've registered. Then I'll be redirected to login. So in the login page, I enter the name, the username and the password. Then I log in. Hope it works. Yeah, now I'm logged in as Sensei. So I've been it's a vulnerable flag search, PicoCTF 2026. Search for flags using special keywords, right? So you're just supposed to search for them. And notice I'm going to close that one first. So logged in as Sensei, search term. So since I'm dealing with SQL, I'll try the most basic SQL injection command. I'll use the most basic one. We normally use this to try and bypass login pages. Yeah, let's see if that works. So search. Notice the results. I'm getting a lot of, I believe this is the format for our flags, PicoCTF, but notice these are what we call them, dummy flags, or they are noises. Actually, they should not be called noises, because noises you actually just need to clean the flag. So this ones don't need cleaning. This is not the flag. This is not the flag. This is not the secret key. Okay, so we now have to move in a more advanced way. So I'll be dealing with something else. I know the this mentions something about SQL map, but my SQL map was actually not working well because of it was checking the time-based formatting. So I'll be doing something we call union-based SQL injection. This is where I'll be trying to enumerate the columns, because I don't know how many columns the database has, right? So I'm going to try and identify how many columns our database has, so that I can even try to dump things that are there. So I'm going to be using the order term. So order, and when I use order, I'll start by the first order of 1. So we are trying to make our database, we're trying to instruct our database to filter and put the contents of the database in order of the first column, right? So we're going to use that, and if this works, then it means we have there's surely a column, there's surely the first column in the database. So remember, by columns I mean things like the username column, the password column, things like that. So let it search. It's loading up a little bit. I believe time is still there. So order 1, you'll notice it works. So this one is we're going to be trying this until we get an error message. So once you get an error message, you know you have just crossed on the other end, or you have exceeded the number of columns this database has. So I'll check for 2. I'll check for 2 to see if there are the 2 columns in the database, and you notice, yeah, it worked. So we're going to be trying this till we get an error. Now we try for 3, right? Search. Once you notice something like this, so notice warning SQLite 3. So one thing you should know, in cybersecurity, or in your threat intelligence, or in any penetration testing, always take key note of even the errors you're getting, because as of now I've already known what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with SQLite, with an SQLite form of type of database. I'm not going to be dealing with Postgres, I'm not dealing with MySQL, I'm dealing with SQLite, right? So this helps a lot. Once you actually note that, it has helped. So continuing, unable to prepare statement, first order by term, out of range. So you notice I'm now out of range. I checked the first column, it worked. The second column, it worked. But once I go to the order by 3, the third column, trying to see if there are third columns, there's a third column, it didn't work. Should be between 1 and 2. So notice I just have 2 columns in this database I'm dealing with. Okay, so back to it. Now back to the search bar, or the search application. But notice we have already gathered 2 informations, 2 very important information. We're dealing with SQLite type of database now, and we're now dealing with a database that has 2 columns. You can't go 3 columns, 4 columns. The main reason I'm saying this, remember there's a previous video we did, and there's something we mentioned when we're dealing with the injection types. When you're dealing with injection, I'll even show you this order. Notice this order. We actually needed to populate that command and make sure, even if it has something not there in the database, at least it has the 3 columns mentioned. We should always keep that in mind. At least it has the 3 columns mentioned the database needs. So, but in this instance, we're having two columns. I'll be back to the application where we are testing, and as of now we already have the information we need, much of the information we need. Now it's our time to try and get the tables, or try to understand the tables in this database we're dealing with. So I'm going to be using an union select command, right? So union select, select name. We don't know the exact name we have, so we're just going to be using name, then SQL, right? So remember, we have 2 columns, that's why we need to enter the name and the SQL. Then the next one, I'll use from SQLite master, SQLite master, where type is equals to a table. So as of this command as I've written right now, there are a few things you must notice. I've used SQLite master here. So in all the database you're dealing with as a penetration tester, you should understand which kind of database you're dealing with. Once I noticed we are dealing with the SQLite type of database, the sort of the map where it holds everything it needs is called in this type of database called SQLite master. This is the same way in MySQL you have information schema. I'll just call it schema. The people call it schema or whatever. So in the same way in MySQL or in PostgreSQL, people use information schema, but in SQLite you use in SQLite master. So with that, we are going to try now where the type we are trying to get the exact. It's more of like a filter format, filter where it's literally a table. We don't want any other information if it's not a table, because we want the exact table so we can now extract the contents of the table. I'm going to run this search. Hope it works. And it worked. So notice there are a few things. We have so many contents, so that you need to actually take keen interest on it. So all these were dummy flags. Notice this table, create table, flags, ID, integer, primary key, auto increment, all that. That's the first thing that catches my eye. Then this is a dummy, then this users. Actually, this is the most important one you're going to be dealing with, because remember we were even told about hashes and passwords. So this flag doesn't deal with any hash or password, notice that, but this table users is dealing with it. And we actually need, if you read the description well, you need to do more of like traversal in the system and get contents that you're not supposed to get as your normal account, right? So now I'm going to try and get information from this users table. Now in this same union select command, I'm going to change it. Now I'm going to be using, let me clear the whole of it, union select notice this. We notice from this table we want to get, there's the field username and the field password. Remember you have two columns, right? So I'm going to be using union select username. You must enter exactly the same way it's written here so that it doesn't mess. Username, then separated with a comma, then password. I hope it was all in small caps. Yeah, amazing. Password. Select password from. Now we are getting it from the users table. We are not doing any filters because we just want to get the content from it. I'll do the search. I hope the time is not up. We have like 2 minutes. Let it load up. Yet it has really loaded up. So users, you can see now we have contents of users. We have the admin user, we have the CTF player user, we have now this is a dummy flag, something. I was logged in as well. I was logged in as Sensei. We must have, yeah, this one. We must have for Sensei. Notice now this is a hash because we filtered for the username. We have the username and the password now is stored in hash format. And remember we were told hash format was more of like MD5. Yeah, amazing. Let's confirm this. So let's just confirm with the admin password, with the admin hash. I'll open my terminal. Opening up my terminal, let me zoom in. Sorry. Let me zoom in. Then I'll use my tool hash identifier. I'll enter that. Notice I've even been told the possible hash is MD5. Amazing. So we have clarified, we are using, the system is using MD5 to store the password hashes. So we have admin, CTF player, and this. So notice, remember, I even told you the password I used, it was flower. So I'll open up CrackStation. Remember, we even recommended to use the CrackStation. I prefer using this. It's way easier and simpler compared to now Hashcat and John the Ripper, or the rest. I'll hopefully traffic lights. Amazing. I think that works. All right, they had to give me this. Okay, I didn't expect them to give me such time as I was presenting. Hope this works. Bus. This is a bus. I'm getting tempted to enter that, to select that. That's not a bus. I'll verify now. Yeah, it worked. So crack hashes, and notice the same password I told you, flower. Now we are going to get a hash. Notice one thing, I tried to get the hash for admin, it didn't work. I really hope this doesn't give me all that hard work. Okay, bicycle. This is a motorcycle. I'm not going to check that. Bicycle. Damn. I'm going to verify that. So crack hashes. Notice I didn't actually get. You see, it was not found. But one thing you notice, you have to check almost all of the hashes, no access. But one thing that was really important was this one, the CTF player. I think this is the one that got me the flag. Let's see. I'm not a robot. Damn. Okay. A lot of capture. Lot of captures. I'm failing these tests. Don't know why. It says damn. Okay. No, I don't see a motorcycle here. I don't understand why. Skip. Damn. Okay, let me refresh this because I don't even understand why I'm being given so much. Damn. Buses, all that. Damn. Okay. Oh, this one is not leaving me alone. They just want me to prove I'm not a robot. Damn. Okay. Now, which other way? I think I'm now going to refresh this page again, because I'm getting so tired of answering those questions. This CTF player. if I don't traffic lights. This traffic lights? No, these are street lights. Yeah, finally, yeah. So you can see now, this we have this password as disable. I think our time is up. No, it wasn't even up. Okay, amazing. So as disable, I'm going now to log out. Let's hope this works. I think the seconds are already up. Yeah, I'm going to restart the instance. I'm going to restart that instance. The good thing is that we already have the password and the username is CTF user. So log in here. CTF user. Password we have cracked and we have gotten disable. Login credentials. I think it was CTF user. I think, if I'm not wrong. Okay, it failed again. So let me just register as fast as I can. I'm now logged in as Sensei. Since I already understand everything, so I'm just going to union select username, password from users. I think that's all. Then we got the CTF player. Oh, it was CTF player, not CTF user. I'm sorry for that. It was CTF player. So log out CTF player. Password is now disable. This one. Sorry, confused that username. And now we are in. You can see we have the flag now. Logged in as CTF user. The challenge is PicoCTF here. So we now found the flag. You can paste that in your page and you'll get that flag. So a quick recap of what you have just done. Once you were given the page, I had to register an account and then logged in as an account. This beats all that total struggle of trying to break that login page, trying to all that. Notice I didn't even check the page source. I didn't even inspect. But I think if you will have went with if you had went with the Sql map type, you will have checked you will have inspected the page to now get this session ID. I think you will have inspected the page to get the cookie. But yeah, notice I didn't go that way. I used the union based SQL injection type, where I tried to get the number of columns. I manually checked the number of columns till I understood the number of columns we have was 2, and the type of database. Key takeaway from that step: always also note of the error pages. Notice this is also very interesting because you see normal users or normal web applications, the developers just develop, and notice you'll actually get sometime the error message hints you to where you're going wrong. Actually, it really hints you to where you're going wrong. If it tells you the type of database being used doesn't correspond to that, maybe if it was being used by an attacker, that will be a great takeaway from him. onto his on his end. We'll just have now to find a way, or even if he gets to understand the server being used. So also for the developers, always make sure your application is not giving too much or excess information, since it may be used by an attacker now to attack it. From understanding or getting the number of columns, we now try to get the number of the database, the tables, and getting this table. Remember, you have to use the sort of the map in this SQLite type of database, which is SQLite master. So you use just random fields. I used name and SQL, where then I use the filter type, where the type is a table. So notice you'll be listed the tables. You got two tables, the flag table and the users table. What was interesting was the users table, because you now had the usernames and the password. So from that, you now got and tried to extract the usernames and the password, which we landed on this page. Yeah, let me zoom out, which we landed on this page, because you see we tried to get the username and the password from the users table, and we got every username in this field, even the username we're currently logged in as Sensei. Notice all this, they are the hashes, and they are stored in MD5. So remember, MD5 is very easy to crack, as long as you have just the right word list and everything. It's very easy to crack. And from that, we logged in as CTF player and we got the flag. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.